colleagues went to visit a Columbia university and demanded the resignation of the university president, Minouche Shafik, if he can't get the pro-Gaza protests under control. Now, a lot of people are asking, well, why did Mike Johnson even go to this university? But GOP rebels, they're pushing to boot Speaker Mike Johnson, mum, after Donald Trump defends him. Now, spokespeople for Representatives Marjorie Taylor Greene, Thomas Massie, Paul Gozer, they did not weigh in on former President Donald Trump's remarks regarding defending House Speaker Mike Johnson. Now, the three House Republican rebels pushing to oust House Speaker Mike Johnson, they're silent on former President Donald Trump's support for the embattled congressional leader. But get this, guys. Mike Johnson, he actually just got some key backup earlier this week when Donald Trump came to his defense, arguing that Mike Johnson is actually doing the best job that he can with a razor-thin House GOP majority. Now, what do you guys think? Should Mike Johnson be ousted and impeached from his position as being the House Speaker? Or should he, stay in the position, remain in the position, and do the best that he can with this razor-thin majority that Donald Trump has called out? By the way, if you guys haven't already, do your boy a favor, hit the like button for the video. I really, really do appreciate you guys. Got a good feeling that this video is probably going to be suppressed, so I'm definitely going to need you guys' help. I know it only takes a second. It might not seem like it matters, but definitely hit the like button for the video. And I always want to thank you guys so much for sharing these videos on Facebook and Twitter and wherever you happen to share these videos. And by the way, new subscriber, what's going on, Matthew Phillips? Glad to have you, my friend. We've got Edmund Dante, we've got Lori, we've got Jolly Joker. What is going on, everyone? Bradley Green, everyone just drop a quick hello in the comments. It means a lot. All right. So Donald Trump was recently interviewed on a talk show, radio talk show host. Wow. Jolly Joker with the $10 super chat already. Thank you so much, my friend. God bless you. So Donald Trump was recently interviewed on a radio talk show where he said, quote, "It's not like he can go and do whatever he wants to. He said, I think he's a very good person. He stood very strong with me on NATO when I said NATO has to pay up," end quote. So Donald Trump is definitely having Speaker Mike Johnson's back here. Kelly Ross with the $10 huge super chat this evening. What is going on? Thank you so much. God bless you. So Kelly Ross says, "Thanks for your great reporting." Hey, I'm doing my best, and I really do appreciate the community that we have here. I really appreciate the love, you guys. You guys are, I swear, you guys are absolutely amazing. All right. Now, at various points, Columbia University students in the crowd, they chanted, "Mike, you suck. Free, free Palestine." And from the river to the sea, free, free Palestine. Palestine will be free. And with the crowd drowning out Mike Johnson and his Republican lawmakers, you could basically kind of see them trying to get their speech, get the speech out, even though all these chants were basically just trying to get them off stage. But it was a big mess. And you can kind of there was this constant heckle of scattered chatter and grandstanding. And anyway, it was a big mess. But it was really just kind of like this one particular heckler that really got me. And he shouted, "Johnson, how does it feel knowing that your own party is going to vote you out?" Now, this is kind of interesting. What do you guys think about this? Now, true enough, his own Republican Party, they're starting to question the House Speaker, and they're wondering if maybe House Speaker Mike Johnson switched to become a rhino, like a Republican in name only. Now, for one, you got Senator Rand Paul, who has rarely criticized Mike Johnson. He suggested that he may be no different than the Democrats. And now the House Speaker Mike Johnson has committed the ultimate defiance against them by effectively wrangling through yet another tranche of Ukrainian aid. All eyes are now on the far-right lawmakers. Now already, you got three headliners, and they have publicly backed a motion to oust Mike Johnson and vacate the chair. You got Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene. She effectively has said that she supports her majority. She supported her majority the last time, but she does not support House Speaker Mike Johnson. And she considers the House Speaker already a lame duck. Now, Green has effectively sought to kind of gin up some support for a motion to vacate, and now has Representative Thomas Massey and Representative Paul Gauzer backing her in the wake of what she said, what she effectively described as Johnson's third betrayal, not the first, but the third. And so Republican hawks, they're already kind of vowing no more aid for the Ukraine. What do you guys think? Should we send even more of our taxpayer dollars over to the Ukraine? A lot of folks are just fed up. They're done. They're like, hey, look, Ukraine has had enough money, but I want to hear from our own audience while we're live tonight on this Saturday night. Do we give any more money to Ukraine? If you believe we should continue to give money to the Ukraine, that's fine. But if you do believe that, type in Ukraine. But if you're fed up and you're ready to say no to any additional money going to the Ukraine, and you believe that America should come first, just type in America first in the comments. I really appreciate you guys. All right, so basically, here we are, guys. We are literally just months away from the presidential elections 2024 coming down the pipeline. Wow, we got another huge super chat coming in from PG Meeks. Thank you so much for the $9.99 super chat. Always great videos. Thanks for keeping us well informed. You are the best. Hey, PG Meeks, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. God bless you. So Republican hawks, they're already vowing no more aid to the Ukraine. And they say that if President Joe Biden comes back with another request, he's going to go away empty-handed. Now, I got to say, we've heard this before, and yet they keep on coming through and giving more aid to the Ukraine. I mean, like, how much is enough? I mean, and they just keep on coming back. And it's crazy because it's like the United States is giving more money to the Ukraine than the countries in Europe. Like, why does the United States care so much more than the countries that are in Ukraine's backyard? Does that make any sense to anybody else? Anyway, so as was said by Senator J.D. Vance from Ohio, if Ukraine thinks that it's getting another $60 billion in supplemental out of the United States Congress, there is no way. And so we may actually see this put to the test before the end of the year. As the National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, he said that the new military aid package for Ukraine will last through the end of the year, meaning that they may ask for a new infusion of weapons, and funding may actually be needed quickly going into 2025. Now, you got Republican Representative Brian Mast. He asked the very, very important question: why are we not seeing the 27 nations that make up the European Union doubling or even tripling the money that they're sending to the Ukraine? I mean, after all, this war that they're waging right now is on their continent, in their own backyard. But instead, Europe continues to send aid in slow trickles over multiple years, signaling that it's just really not treating Ukraine as an urgent need. So it's like the United States sees the struggle that Ukraine is going through as more of an urgent need than the countries within the continent of Europe. So it's just kind of wild. Instead, Europe just trickling, a little bit of money into the offering plate as it goes around on Sunday morning. Here's $1, here's $5 at best, right? Meanwhile, United States is dropping gold bars and billions of dollars at a time, sending it over. It's a mess. So why is the United States shouldering this global burden mostly on its own? Do you guys have any ideas why the United States is sending so much more money over to the Ukraine compared to other countries? If you have any idea, comment down below why you think that is. Do you think it might have anything to do with Hunter Biden and what Joe Biden are doing with their let's just say their undercover business operations? Anyway, so this is what some people are asking. Why is the United States shouldering this burden, right? And this is part of what we're going to be talking about today. So anyway, let's go ahead and dive right into this thing. So here's the situation in the universities around the country right now with these Gaza protests, okay? And so effectively, these Gaza protests are happening all over. Plus, House Speaker Mike Johnson, he's just making things worse. I'll just say that. So take a listen.
Keeps building on some American. It's building on some American assault on Gaza. Keeps 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 building on some American assault on Gaza.
Sorry, guys, a little technical difficulties here. Let's see if we can get this thing going again. Trying to share this with you guys. All right, let's try this again.
American university campuses. Students are demanding their schools cut ties with or reveal their involvement with companies that do business with Israel or are profiting off the war in Gaza. In Austin, Texas, police in riot gear were called in to break up a protest at the University of Texas. Several people there were arrested. Scuffles also broke out between protesters and campus police at the University of Southern California after students were ordered to dismantle an encampment. Anger there has grown after a Muslim student's planned commencement speech was canceled. There are big protests in New York City, too. Columbia University has just extended a deadline for protesters camped on its grounds to leave. Last week, more than 100 people were arrested and charged with trespassing. Most of those taking part are peaceful and believe their right to protest is being suppressed.
Today, Hamas issued an endorsement statement of the protesters on this campus. They called them the future leaders of America. It is detestable. My message to the students inside the encampment is go back to class and stop the nonsense. To every Jewish student listening to us, no matter where you are around the country, you have my word. The U.S. House of Representatives will do everything in our power to ensure that you are safe, you can freely practice your faith, and you can go to school.
Okay, guys, so what do you guys think about this? Like, do you support Mike Johnson's decision? Are you against Mike Johnson's decision? Just let me know what your take is on this one. I'm really curious to know what you guys think, where you guys stand on with Mike Johnson's position on this one. So this is actually coming from a House Speaker who prioritized sending money to countries like the Ukraine and to Israel over securing our own border here. Now, this only makes people question Mike Johnson even more. By the way, I do want to thank you guys for, number one, hitting the like button. Thank you for sharing these videos. And thank you for your patience with the little technical glitch that we just had here. Anyway, so that's how you know we're live, because all the screw ups, every time I make a mistake, is here. It's on record. I can't edit it out. So anyway, so this just kind of makes people question Mike Johnson even more. And, I hear people comment like how, we need to take care of United States first, and that our veterans don't need to be sleeping on the streets ever, while aid continues to go to other countries. You know what I mean, right? And, man, like Johnson is really not making any friends with what he's been doing. In fact, his visit to Columbia University certainly did not receive a warm welcome. I mean, both on and off the campus. You had several prominent New York Democrats accusing Mike Johnson of politicizing the chaotic pro-Palestinian protests that have rocked Columbia for about a week. And you also have New York Governor Kathy Hochul. She told reporters that, bringing the entourage to put a spotlight on this is only adding to the division. Do you guys agree with New York Governor Kathy Hochul on that one? So then, of course, there's Progressive Representative Jamal Bowman. He said in a statement that the visit is nothing more than another tactic in the right wing's attack on our educational institutions and an attempt to silence anti-war and pro-Palestinian sentiment. So, true enough, Mike Johnson and his fellow representatives, Virginia Foxx, Nicole Malatakis, Anthony Diaspos, I can't even pronounce his last name, and Mike Lauer, they were booed and heckled for like 18 minutes. It's like almost 20 minutes of their press conference on the Columbia lower library steps were filled with booing. This was like worse than Letitia James when she was speaking in front of all the different firefighters in New York City just a few weeks ago. So anyway, Columbia students, They were chanting all sorts of stuff from support of Palestine, and they were clearly against Mike Johnson. But really, the most memorable one was for me, it was like, how does it feel knowing that your own party is going to vote you out? Do you guys think that Mike Johnson is going to ultimately be impeached by his own party? If you do, just type in impeachment in the comment section down below. Now, Mike Johnson's party members are definitely having some choice words to say about, the House Speaker. And so recently, Senator Rand Paul, he wanted an interview to suggest that Mike Johnson may be turning into a rhino. So his exact words, people have to be strong in their convictions, basically. And he was seen as a conservative before he came to the speakership. And he's completely changed and lost all of his principles. So let me see here. So let's go on. Gary Owens, Louisiana, I see you. So Trump trained 2024 FJB says Mike Johnson sucks. RF says Mike Johnson is a wonderful believer. I'm lurking says impeachment shouldn't have been there to begin with. So we got some mixed opinions on whether Mike Johnson. Okay, so if you think that Mike Johnson should not be impeached, please comment "Don't impeach Mike Johnson" in the comments down below. Christine Edie says impeachment all the way from New Zealand. Jose Rodriguez says Mike Johnson is a sellout. Okay. Yeah, we definitely got some mixed opinions on here. Jordan, okay, so I'm Larkin says Jordan should be speaking. Jordan should be speaker. I'm assuming you're talking about Jim Jordan. Okay, so Republican voters, they commented that they're so sick of Johnson as a rhino and rhinos in general. Now, as Senator Rand Paul pointed out, Johnson hasn't held his ground. He has power. He has a majority, so he should use his power of the purse, is what they're saying. Now, do something to make this is what they're saying. Do something to make us think that he's different from the Democrats, because so far Paul and a whole lot of other Republicans do not see a lot of difference. Now, are you guys feeling the same way? Or are you thinking that Mike Johnson's no different than any other Democrat, or what do you think? All right, so last week Johnson rankled hardliners within the Republican Party by wrangling legislation through the House of Representatives to reauthorize the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, Section 702, warrantless surveillance authority for 2 more years. And so by giving the government authority to conduct targeted surveillance of foreigners believed to be located outside the United States, they're basically reallowing federal government agencies to just spy on people without a warrant. So, yeah, basically they can be listening to anything and everything that we're doing on the telephone. As American citizens, we have no privacy against the federal government, thanks to Section 702. But Senator Rand Paul is totally against this, saying that Americans should not be spied on by their own government, and called out Speaker Mike Johnson for being incredibly wrong in what he did. Mike, okay, hold on. Your last name needs a little bit of time for me to process this. Avenoso? Okay, Mike Avenoso, thank you so much, my friend, for the huge $25 super chat this evening. So Mike Avenoso says, Mike Johnson said the sad truth. No matter what was passed, either the Senate would vote it down or the president would just ignore it. He's in a no-win situation. Love your stuff. Keep up the good work. Mike Avenoso, thank you so much, my friend. God bless you. And I really do appreciate the support here on the channel. So, yeah, this is what we're seeing here, folks. Senator Rand Paul is clearly against this, saying that Americans should not be spied on by their own government. He called out Mike Johnson and said that Mike Johnson is wrong for what he did. Do you guys think that Mike Johnson is wrong for permitting the government authorities to continue to spy on American citizens like me and you? Gary Owens, thank you so much for the $5 super chat, my friend. I totally appreciate you. God bless you, my brother. Oh man, I'm getting a lot of love tonight. What is going on? Happy Saturday, everyone. All right. And of course, Sunday is actually here as of 30 minutes ago. So happy Sunday as well. Hope you guys have some wonderful Sunday plans. Maybe Sunday morning breakfast with the family, maybe some church. All right. Now, of course, Paul has also ripped the speaker over the appropriations deal that was brokered. You guys may have heard about this appropriations deal that was brokered just recently. It's kind of a big deal. But basically, this deal was brokered with Democrats that have cleared Congress last month to fund the government for fiscal year 2024. Paul says that the Democrats got everything they wanted in the spending bill. There was no negotiations, it seems like. Wow, blessed butterfly girl hits me up with a huge $19.99 super chat. Thank you so much. You are also amazing. I truly appreciate you. God bless you. Oh my God, you guys are just unreal this evening. So and really every evening, every time we get together, you guys are absolutely amazing to me, and I just can't thank you enough. And for those who haven't been getting the notifications, I actually got messaged by one of you guys who was saying, "Oh, I figured out why I wasn't getting notifications." So they had the bell turned on. They had all notifications turned on, but they didn't have the their YouTube app set to allow notifications on their phone. So just a little heads up for you guys in case you weren't getting notifications. One of our subscribers had let me know, kind of schooled me on that earlier today. So just wanted to put that out there for you guys. Anyway, or as my friends say, anyway. So with this and the foreign aid bill that he passed or recently passed, it is now time for House Speaker Mike Johnson to make a move. Now, some folks are saying, is it time for House Speaker Mike Johnson to step down? Pippa hits me with the $19.99 super chat. You are so amazing, Pippa. I thank you so much this evening. God bless you. Oh man, the love in here in this room. Is it getting warm in here? Anyone? Is it getting warm in here, guys? Like I'm feeling all of this love is getting chills in here. Okay. Let's get back to it. Okay. So and thank you so much, Katalia, for always being my cheerleader in here. Katalia is in here every night, helps out all the time, and your presence is absolutely known. I appreciate you, Katalia. All right, guys. So with this and the foreign aid package, the foreign aid bill that he recently passed, the question now is it time for House Speaker Mike Johnson to step down, or there's always an or, will they have to force him out? With a vote like what they did with Kevin McCarthy. So that's the big question. But I just want to take a second and just thank you guys for always hanging out with me. Thank you for rocking with me. Thank you for always liking the videos, subscribing to the channel, sharing the videos, getting the truth out here, because they want to suppress the truth. But anyway, so House Speaker Mike Johnson, he may very well be on his way out, especially with Republican hardliners like Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, aka MTG, chomping at the bit to oust Mike Johnson. And as she told reporters when the Ukraine bill passed, she supports her majority, but she does not support Mike Johnson, who she says is already a lame duck. Now, for her supporters, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's a patriot who really loves her country. And this is why they propose that MTG needs to be Speaker of the House. Now, I got to ask you guys, if you think that Marjorie Taylor Greene should replace Mike Johnson as being the Speaker of the House, just type in Marjorie Taylor Greene, or even just type in MTG for short if you think Marjorie Taylor Greene should be the new Speaker of the House. All right. So Greene first kind of like dangled the motion to vacate against Mike Johnson in March, just before the House passed the last of the spending bills that were needed to fully fund the government for the remainder of fiscal year 2024. Now, this was meant to kind of like deter the speaker from forging ahead with the reauthorization of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, Section 702, and the thing that basically lets the government spy on us, and most especially to replenish the Ukraine aid. But Mike Johnson, he did it anyway. And so now Greene, a lot of you guys are blowing up the comments saying MTG, yes, Marjorie Taylor Greene for the Speaker of the House. Wow. Marjorie Taylor Greene is getting a lot of support in the comments here in the chats, guys. Okay. So now Green has ginned up support for a motion to vacate and has Representative Thomas Massey and Representative Paul Gozer backing her in the wake of what she describes as Johnson's third betrayal. Now, according to Green, Mike Johnson's speakership is over. He's done. Impeachment is pretty much in the works. But he needs to do the right thing to resign and allow us to move forward in a controlled process. If he doesn't do so, he will be vacated, is what they're saying. So that sounds like an impeachment threat to me, if I've ever heard one. And in the meantime, the GOP critics vow no more aid, at least not from the United States. The GOP critics are now vowing no more U.S. aid for the Ukraine. So as Republican Senator J.D. Vance commented, if the Ukraine thinks that they're going to get another $60 billion in supplemental out of the United States Congress, there's no way. And so, it's good that he said this because, especially considering that National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan has already said that the new military aid package for the Ukraine is going to last through the end of the year. So what this means is that there's probably like the prospect that a new infusion of weapons and funding is probably going to be needed again early 2025. So we're going to see what's going to happen. And of course, the talk about that is going to be starting probably toward the end of the year because they're just going to burn through our U.S. taxpayer dollars like water. So I'm willing to bet around October-ish this year, 2024, the talks are going to start coming up again about another aid package for the Ukraine. So Senator Lindsey Graham, who voted for the $95 billion emergency foreign aid bill, which Biden quickly signed into law, says more future aid will be needed to be structured as a loan. Really? Why didn't we always structure all these aid packages as loan? Like, shouldn't the United States get paid back? Like, what are we getting out of this is what I'm wondering. Like, why do we just donate? We're like $34 trillion in debt, but yet we're like donating billions of dollars to all these different countries left and right without actually making loans to them. We're just doling out all this money as if, we're balling out of control and we can afford to do this. We're broke. We can't afford to do this. Why are we giving away all this money? And then, every American looks at their paycheck every week and they look at their gross income versus their net income, and you wonder where all this money went. Medicaid or Medicare, Social Security, state income tax, FICA tax, federal income tax, all these different taxes. Just know that your paychecks are smaller because of all of this loose spending that your government is doing on a regular basis. It's just unbelievable. So then, of course, you also have the very good point from House Representative Brian Mast. So Brian Mast said that, we've been told repeatedly that if Congress does not approve more money, then Ukraine will fall and Estonia, Moldova, and Poland will be next. But why are we not seeing the 27 nations that make up the European Union doubling or even tripling the money that they're sending to the Ukraine? Like, that's the logical question, is it not? So anyway, after all, this war is waging on their continent in their backyard. I can't see the Ukraine from where I'm at. I can't even drive to the Ukraine. This is not on our continent. This is on Europe's continent. And yet we're putting in more money than Europe. So instead, Europe continues to just send little bits of aid here and there, little trickles here, a little sprinkle here over multiple years, signaling that it is not treating Ukraine as an urgent need. Now, how many of you guys think that Donald Trump would continue to send massive, huge Ukrainian aid packages over at the rate that President Biden's doing? What do y'all think about that? I got a good feeling that, based on how Donald Trump feels about NATO and how countries who are in NATO need to pay their fair share, I'm pretty sure Donald Trump will probably look at this the same way and say, hey, look, y'all need to chip in, and we're not going to just be like writing blank checks. We're going to have to set up like some structured loan payments or something. I mean, I'm just thinking Donald Trump is a real estate guy. I wouldn't be surprised if he, said, "Hey, look, we'll give you a $60 billion loan, but we're gonna have to, maybe mortgage the country of the Ukraine in order to make that happen." Something, not just blank checks where we stay broke and just keep sending endless money over there. But let me know if you guys agree. Let me know if you guys disagree. Anyway, so Europe has pledged $154 billion to the Ukraine since Russia launched its brutal and unprovoked invasion, or at least that's how they're marketing it to us. But when you take a closer look at it, that comment falls a little bit short. Now, according to the nonpartisan Kiel Institute of the World Economy, Europe has only delivered $82 billion of the $154 billion that it promised to the Ukraine. And there's no sign that Europe is ramping up its support, even though it warned that the Ukraine could in fact collapse without U.S. aid. Now, if this was so crucial and so important, you would think that Europe will be pumping in more dollars. I mean, you would think. Thank you so much. Thank you, Rafa King of Clay, for the $5 super chat this evening. I appreciate your love and support. God bless you. So Rafa King says, China will never take America seriously as long as we're arming Taiwan. Janet Yellen and Anthony Blinken have made fools of themselves. Taiwan's the key. I appreciate your comment. I do appreciate your comment. What do you guys think about that? And so back in February, the EU announced an additional $54 billion in assistance for the Ukraine, guys. But that didn't quite make the headlines. Actually, what didn't make the headlines is the fact that the money is going to be spread out between now and 2027. Now, if you break it down, it kind of means that about $667 million per year for each EU country over the next 3 years. I mean, we're easily outspending them, guys. We're outspending them in real time. Not money that may or may not eventually get sent out by the European Union by 2027. Anything can happen between now and then. Promises could be broken. Anyway. But that's just a fraction of the $60 billion in direct aid that the U.S. House recently approved for the Ukraine. In contrast, the United States has already spent like $113 billion on Ukraine's war efforts, and we're about to send even more money. So what's really going on here, right? And not to mention, the additional aid approved by the House has a stipulation requiring that portions of the aid be sent to the Ukraine no later than September 2025. So, you can even compare aid to the Ukraine as a percentage of GDP. Currently, about half the EU countries contribute a smaller share of their GDP in aid to Ukraine than America does. And the 27 EU member states have a combined GDP of about $20 trillion. Meanwhile, Russia has just $2 trillion. So Europe has the means, the ability, the financial wherewithal to send more aid to the Ukraine, but it's choosing to invest in other areas. And you might be thinking like, what? Well, lavish social welfare programs and climate agendas. God knows whatever else they're spending this money on, right? Between 2020 and 2023, Germany spent $92 billion on climate-related projects like electric buses and retrofitting buildings for green energy and all sorts of other cool stuff, right? In the same period, Italy and France, they spent nearly $180 billion on climate programs. Meanwhile, these same countries have only committed a very small fraction of that money to Ukraine. Germany with like $30 billion in military aid. Italy and France committed like under $2 billion each, barely even registers on the scale, right? And this is one reason why some folks like Brian Mast voted against sending $60 billion to Ukraine. Europe is asking for more U.S. support in the war, but its spending priorities suggest that Ukraine is not its top concern. So it's like a 401k investment, right? Typically, companies will offer some type of 401k investment. It's like, look, if you're going to take your own retirement serious enough, we'll go ahead and match you. I would say that the United States should at least do something like that. Like, okay, if your job does like dollar for dollar matching up to like 6% of your income, then maybe the United States should consider doing something similar. Like if you guys are only going to put $2 billion in, we're not putting in 113. We're going to go ahead and put in 2 as well. Or heck, maybe even like we'll match you 50 cents for every dollar you put in. So if they put in $2 billion, we put in $1 billion. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, throwing out some ideas. Catalia says facts, Ron. I appreciate it. But anyway, I'm not a congressman, so what do I know? But if the need for, to support the Ukraine is as urgent as Europe claims that it is, like, shouldn't we, at least expect them to like cut back on electric buses and crap and focus some of their aid on Ukraine like immediately rather than spreading this money over the course of like years? Yeah. So anyway, drop me some comments, guys. Let me know what you guys think. I don't want to rant too long. Ruth Pearson says America first. Tracy's Corner says Curtis Bowers has a 2-part documentary agenda, grinding America down. And Agenda 2, Masters of the Seat. These are the 2 movies that I suggest in my email to you. Tracy's Corner, thank you so much for those movie recommendations. I'm going to have to check those out. Can you let me know what platform that those movies might be on? Are they on like Netflix, Amazon, Hulu? Let me know, Tracy. I appreciate the heads up on that. Thank you so much, Tracy. Also want to thank Rafa King again for the second $5 super chat. Thank you so much. So Rafa King says Rand Paul, Matt Gaetz, and MTG are only ones in DC that I trust have America's best interests in mind. Trump disappointed me by capitulating on the Ukraine. Okay, I appreciate your comment. Let me know what you guys think about Rafa King's comments, guys. Let's see. So Blessed Butterfly Girl says, I'm an equal opportunity hater. You are a criminal. You commit a crime. You are not welcome here. My heart breaks for the children abused by their handlers getting here. Thank you so much for your comment. Video King says a good movie is Nefarious. Wow. You guys are dropping some interesting movies. We were literally just looking for something to watch, and we ended up watching what's that girl? Blonde hair girl. She gets like some random guy who apparently she knows. He handcuffs a suitcase to her wrist and tells her that she has to drop off the suitcase. And then it's like this Asian mafia, and they like cut her stomach open and put these pills in her stomach, and she's got to transport it. Anyway, Scarlett Johansson, blonde hair chick. If you guys know the name of that movie, and then next thing you know, like she's like unlocked like 100% of her brain. But anyway, we're gonna watch that movie tonight. But I'm gonna check out some of these movies that you guys are listing here. Morgan Freeman was in it. Yes, Video King got it. It is Lucy. Lucy, thank you so much. Catalia called it Lucy. Raphael, Joanne Carter, James Ritchie. Okay, yeah, it was Lucy. And I've already watched the movie before, but it's like one of those movies that, it's good, so we're gonna watch it again. But I will take a look at, and I like movies like that. Like I also like that other movie with, oh my God, what's that dude's name? Not Matt McConaughey. Limitless. Limitless was another good one. But anyway, guys, appreciate y'all rocking with me. If you haven't already, definitely hit the like button for the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I want to thank y'all, as always, for sharing these videos. You guys are absolutely amazing. I love my community. And you guys have a great night, and I will see you soon enough. Take care.